It's been almost 3 years since I dropped out of my computer science degree, and if you're someone who's thinking of dropping out, or if you work a 9 to 5 job and you want to quit and start your own thing, then this video is going to be useful for you because despite all the horror stories that my teachers and relatives told me about how I was going to end up jobless, how I was going to end up homeless and come crawling back to complete my degree, I've managed to do quite okay for myself. I've made over 40k online in the last 3 years. Currently, I make around 6 to 7k every month. And while this is by no means some big accomplishment, I am nowhere near my goals, but I can pay my own bills. I make enough to take care of my parents and the people I love. I work on my own time. I can work from anywhere I want. I don't have to take orders from some annoying boss. I don't have to sit in traffic, and life is good. So if you plan on going down the same road of dropping out or of freelancing or online business or just following your dreams in general, then this video is going to be useful for you because in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'll share with you 9 rules that will help you. Number one, decide whether if this is the right path for you, and number two, if you do decide to go down this path, it will help you avoid the mistakes I made and make the road a bit easier for you. The first rule I want you to get very comfortable with it is the fact that nobody is going to believe in you. If you grew up in a traditional middle class family like me, where everyone had traditional 9 to 5 jobs, traditional lives, go to school, get a job, get married, retire by 60, that kind of life, then none of those people are going to approve of your decision of dropping out, and none of them are going to believe in you. And it's not their fault because that's the only path they have known. But if you start believing what they say, if you start giving attention to their opinions and taking advice from people who are not living lives that you want to live, then you're going to end up living a life that you don't want to live because your beliefs decide your life. Like, for example, a lot of people would have clicked off at the start of the video when I said I made over 40k online in the last 3 years. Currently, I make around 6 to 7k every month because it doesn't fit into their belief system. They don't believe that making money online is possible. They think it's a scam. They think that the only way to make money is to go to college, then get a 9 to 5 job and work for 40 years. But if you're still watching this video, you know that that's not the case. You believe that there's a way to not only make money but to make money doing things you enjoy and have freedom of time and location. So you have different beliefs compared to the person who clicked off, and hence the direction of your life will be different. But if you let your beliefs be dictated by other people who haven't achieved what you want to achieve, who haven't even tried, and if you start taking their opinions and advice seriously, then you're going to end up just like them. You're going to end up living the traditional life, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's the life you want. But if you clicked on this video, chances are you don't want the average get a job, work for 40 years, 9 to 5, retire at 60 life. You want to do something different with your life. You want to go down the road that not many people go. And for that, your belief in yourself needs to be way higher and more important to you than the opinions of your friends, relatives, parents, teachers. Good rule of thumb when taking opinions or advice from someone is that don't take opinions or advice from people that are closest to you. Instead, take it from people who are closest to your goals. That's a key rule you need to keep in mind when you're taking opinions from others. But I get it. When you constantly have people telling you that it's not going to work out, you're going to fail, your life will be ruined, and all that stuff, then you start doubting yourself, right? It's natural. And to overcome this, there's the second rule, and that is to find your why. Your why is what's going to keep you going when you don't want to. Your why is what's going to keep you believing when nobody else does. And when you're starting out, your why doesn't need to be something grand like I want to change the world, or I want to change the education system or something like that. It just needs to be something that you desperately want, that you currently lack in your life. Like, the reason most people go down the traditional route is because it's safe, it's comfortable. Like, they're getting paid a salary every month, they're watching Netflix every night, they're scrolling reels, laughing at memes, they're going out on weekends, taking a vacation 2 to 3 times a year, and it's chill, right? It's a fixed routine. There's nothing outside of this routine that they so desperately lack that it makes them want to get out of this routine. They're not in enough pain to break out of this routine, and that's what your why needs to be. It needs to be something that's almost painful, something that pains you to not have in your life. It can be something silly, like maybe you want to stay up till 1 a.m. to watch your favorite show, but because you have to go to work at 6 in the next morning, you can't watch the show, and that's why you want to quit your job. For most people, it might sound silly, but if someone is a super fan of the show, someone who's obsessed with it, for them it's painful to not be able to watch it. Or another example, let's say if you're in a relationship and because of your work timings, you don't get time to spend with your partner. Again, silly reason for most people, but it's painful for some people who are like really passionate and into it. Or let me tell you why I first got started. What was my why when I first wanted to drop out? So back in late 2021 or early 2022, I was deep into powerlifting. Like I was completely obsessed with the sport. But the problem was that as I had college all day, I had to either go to train in the morning when it would be crowded as fuck, or in the evening when I was already tired after going to college all day. So my training would be shit. That was the silly reason that I wanted to stop going to college. Like there were other smaller reasons, like I wanted to have more time to spend with my friends or my partner back then. But the main reason I wanted to get out of college, my main why, was that so I could go to the gym in the afternoon and train when it was empty. Then once I actually got into the process of like finding jobs online and learning skills online, then I actually started to love the process. I liked building things from scratch, like learning concepts on my own. I liked studying things, and I realized that I could learn more in a week by myself than having to spend 4 months in college learning the same thing. So then the why became to be able to work on things I enjoy without having to follow some outdated curriculum or system. Then after I quit coding and switched to other online skills and started making decent money, the why became to retire my parents. Then at one point when I started making enough money and taking care of my parents, it became to find my full potential. So your why keeps evolving. Just make sure it's something that you care about more than the opinions of other people, something or someone whose absence gives you pain in your life, something that makes you want to get up and try again and again, no matter how many times you fail or what other people say or whoever is laughing at you. And the biggest reason most people fail when they try to do something of their own after dropping out or quitting their job is because they don't get rid of the school mentality. In school, you're told that you have to study certain topics and you're given a certain deadline when you have to attend an exam. And even if you work a job, you're given certain tasks by a boss and a certain deadline. But if you get into freelancing or building your own thing, nobody is going to give you a set list of tasks to do. And even if they did, it may not work for you. You have to figure it out on your own through experience and by failing a ton of times. In school, we are told that failing is bad, but in the real world, the more you fail and the faster you learn from failure, the more you'll win. Like, there's no substitute to this. You can watch all the tutorials, you can buy all the courses, but unless you step into the field and fail multiple times, you will not grow. You have to fail. You have to use your own brain to think what you need to do next, what you need to work on, what you need to learn next. You have to always keep learning. That's the only way to win in this game. And another point that goes hand in hand with learning is that you need to learn how to learn. Because again, in school, you're given a bunch of topics to study, you mug them up, and you spit them out on a piece of paper. But that's not how it works in the real world. You're not going to get paid for knowing a bunch of theory about graphic design or video editing or any other skill. You have to learn by building and applying. So don't spend hours watching tutorials and mugging up useless concepts that you'll never use. Instead, start by building a project, have a rough idea of what you want to create, get started, and once you get stuck, study about that particular concept and apply it. This way you'll actually remember what you learn and not just mug up a bunch of theory that you'll never use and you'll forget in a week anyway. While I can't give you a list of hard skills to learn like video editing, graphic design, coding, because I don't know what your goals are, I don't know you personally, but there are three evergreen skills which, if you learn, you'll never have to worry about going broke or getting replaced by AI. The first skill is understanding market cycles. In simple terms, this means being able to spot trends on a larger scale. For example, you might have noticed the trend of this title format popping off on YouTube recently in every niche. Or if you take a niche like online business, a few months back, this whiteboard, unedited, MyRobot style videos, they were getting tens of thousands of views. Before that, you had the Iman Ghazi editing style. Before that, the trend was of like simple talking head videos with stock footage and captions. And none of these trends last forever. There's a curve like this. And if you're able to spot these trends early and you enter at this stage of the curve and exit at this stage, that's where you'll gain an advantage over the competition. That's where you'll make more progress in months than most people will make in years. And this doesn't just apply to YouTube, this applies to much larger things. If we talk about the big picture, right now in the job market, the trend is of AI and prompt engineering. Before that, a few years back, the trend was of software engineering. If you take the fitness space, for example, there's currently a trend of low volume, high intensity training. Before that, there have been several other trends like CrossFit, intermittent fasting, keto dieting, all that stuff. In the online business space, a few years back, SMMA, dropshipping, these were the trends. People who capitalized on this wave, they made money. So learn to spot these trends and identify which stage of the market cycle they're in. Concept of market cycles, this applies to everything from jobs to investing to politics to relationships. And you don't learn this skill by buying a course, you develop it with time by spotting these patterns, by training your mind to observe these patterns instead of mindlessly scrolling on social media. Like, for example, maybe you come across this video and you see the title and think, oh, I've seen this title format before. Or if you come across this thumbnail style and think, oh, this looks familiar, I've seen this thumbnail format before. Is this a winning format? Then to test your theory, you look up other videos in the same format and see what's the success ratio. This is in the context of YouTube, but you can apply the same method to every area of your life to study market cycles. Second key skill that will make you irreplaceable is understanding human behavior. And no, you don't need to be a psychologist, you don't need to read people's minds. Just know the basics of human behavior. What makes people act a certain way? What is the motivation behind their actions? Why do logical people make irrational decisions? Things like confirmation bias, authority bias, herd mentality, fight or flight response. This will not only help you understand the world better, but more importantly, it will help you understand yourself better. Like why you do the things you do, why you fall into these bad habits, and how to stop the cycle, how your brain works, how to make it work in your favor. This one skill alone will make you dangerous no matter which field you get into. The third skill after market cycles and human behavior is idea generation. Because here's the thing, everything around you, everything you can see, touch, hear, everything you interact with in your daily life, they are all just ideas. Everything from the device you're watching this video on, the clothes you're wearing, your shoes, your house, everything started as an idea in someone's mind first. Every big corporation, every tech giant, even every small business, they don't sell tech or gadgets, they sell an idea. And the thing is, you don't need to be original or creative to come up with ideas. Most ideas are just a remix or combination of old ideas. Steve Jobs, he didn't invent the touchscreen, the phone, or the internet. He just combined all three into one and made the iPhone. Even if you take great writers or movies, for example, they don't come up with their own plots or style from scratch. They take bits and pieces from other pieces, they use it as inspiration and combine them. So in that sense, your job isn't to generate new ideas from scratch, it's to absorb useful ideas and combine them. Once you build this habit of combining ideas, over time you'll start coming up with your own ideas, because you'll see what are the common principles behind all these great ideas and then take those principles and apply it to build something unique. So market cycles, human behavior, and idea generation, these are the three skills that will make you irreplaceable, and you'll never have to worry about being a starving artist. That's why I think everyone should learn copywriting, because with copywriting you get good at all three of the skills. Even if you don't plan to become a full-time copywriter, you should know the basics and spend a month or two studying copy, writing copy, and understanding the basic concepts of copywriting and persuasion, getting them drilled into your head, because once you do that, you'll start to see the world in a completely different lens. And the fifth rule is to think in exponential levels. Sounds complex, but let me explain in simple terms. If we go back to the topic of school mentality, we have this mindset in school that, oh, now I'm in 8th grade, in 1 year I'll be in 9th grade, and 1 year later I'll be in 10th grade. Or if you're working a job, you might have this mentality that currently I'm making 50k, then next year my salary will increase, I'll make 60k, and then 70, and so on. Or right now I'm working as a SD1, then I'll become an SD2, then an SD3. So when you're inside an organization, progress is pretty linear, but when you're doing your own thing, you have to replace this linear thinking with exponential thinking. For example, if you're making 1k per month with 3 clients, you're not going to get to 10k per month taking on 30 clients. That's not the way to go. You'll either have to switch up your offer or switch to some different route like an agency, or you'll have to switch your business model entirely. Basically, the person who's at 1k per month and the person who's at 10k per month, they will have a complete different set of beliefs, traits, and worldview. It doesn't go 1k, then 2k, then 3k. It doesn't work like that when you're doing your own thing. Most of the time, nothing happens for a long period and then there's exponential growth all at once. Another example of this exponential thinking is this: the version of you who has 6 lakhs in the bank and the one that has 5 lakhs in the bank, both will have almost similar lifestyles. Their daily life will be almost identical, no change. Now, this is not to say that you should just waste your 1 lakh or throw it away for fun, but if you take a portion of that and invest it in your skills or invest it in mentors or courses or masterminds, it can double or triple your income, and that will have an impact on your lifestyle. That will take you to the next level in the game. That will lead to like exponential growth. Not only because you're learning from the experience of others, but because when you invest in yourself, you have skin in the game. Now you have that itch to get to the next level. And there's always a next level in this game. There's always a bigger pond. Which brings us to rule number 6, that will save you a lot of mental energy and regrets, is to understand that the game never ends. So when you get into this game, if you drop out, if you go the route of freelancing or starting your own business or just going after your dreams in general, be it a different career or sports, you're basically going against 90% of society, because 90% of people don't go down this path. So it's natural to feel bitter, to have a chip on your shoulder, to have this mindset that you need to prove everyone wrong. And while you can use that energy to make a lot of progress, but in the long term, it will hurt you. Because currently, maybe you feel some anger towards your parents, towards your family for not trusting your vision, for not supporting your decision of dropping out. Like even I did for a long time. But you got to realize that it's all just a big game. Their game environment, the levels that they can see, it's completely different to the levels you're playing at, or they're playing a completely different game altogether. And the game never ends. You might think that you'll be satisfied when you hit a certain number in the bank or after you win some trophy, but if you're someone who's dropping out to go build something of their own, chances are you don't have that off button. You always want to get to the next level to see where you can improve, how far you can push yourself, because it's not normal to reject the traditional safe path and go do something of your own. You need to have some certain character flaw for that. There's a part of you that's just not wired to rest and be satisfied. It always wants to do more. It always wants to push one step further, get one rep more, make more money, make more impact, to find out your true potential and then exceed it. So you got to understand that the game never ends, and the only thing that matters is the journey. There is no final destination. All there is the journey. So cherish those little moments when you're up at 2 a.m. working on a project, when you're in the gym grinding for that last rep, during those days where you feel uncertain, when you're unsure if this thing is even going to work out. Learn to enjoy those little moments, because these are the things that truly matter. These are the moments you're going to look back at. And another important note, don't be rude to your parents. They are only doing what they think is best for you. Cherish every moment you get with them. Never take them for granted. You never know when it's the last time you'll see them. Rule number 7, this one is exclusively for the boys. Don't ask me the why, don't ask me the science behind it. Just do it. 9 sets every week, all to failure. Thank me after 6 months. Rule number 8, and this is going to be the only relationship advice you'll ever get from me, because everyone has their own choice, their own type, right? But if you get in a serious relationship with someone, if you spend a lot of time with someone, you start to subconsciously take on their energy, their habits, their beliefs, and some of these habits, they might not align with the type of person you want to become. And because of this, you'll end up hurting other people in the future who don't deserve to be hurt. So 3 questions to ask yourself if you're considering getting in a serious relationship. First, can you truly be yourself around your partner without having to put on a mask, without having to put on any filters, without having to act like someone else? Question number 2, if one of your friends said that you are just like your partner, would you take that as a compliment or as an insult? And the last question is, if you had a child, would you want them to date someone with the same personality as your partner? So think about these 3 questions before getting into something serious, because the person you choose to be with can literally make or break your life. Of course, this applies only if you're looking to get into something serious. If you're looking to just do it for fun, then you can do whatever you want. Which brings us to the 9th and final rule, and that is, there are no rules, including the rules in this video. People will tell you that you need to live your life a certain way, that you need to graduate by this age, you need to get a job by this age, you need to get married by this age. It's all made up bullshit. There are no rules. You can live your life however you want. It's not that serious.